YouTube, I'm back, and this time with a DIY video of how I built 2 arch wall backdrops for a recent event. Let's build, style, and customize the walls from scratch, and a quick reminder to always
shop with Black women!
Starting with materials, I got the 8 feet long and the 4 feet wide plywood from Home Depot, and it was a 1/2 inch thick because I wanted it to not be so heavy. I've always wanted to create arch walls for other events, but this was my first time creating one from scratch, or at least the arch from scratch. Finding out a formula to follow and measure the arch was so hard for me. Some people said use the circumference and find the midpoint, use a string, etc., but I couldn't figure it out. But I had to get started on the build, which I was really excited about. So we wanted to make this very portable because she's going to be using this for all of her events. So to travel with it, I wanted to make it where it can fold in half and then also prop up and just like everything being able to fold and collapse. So we use these TikToks for inspiration, and dang, they saved the day. Like, I've created a wall before where I have cut it in half, and I loved how that wall came out. But this one was a little bit more convenient in a sense because it still was connected as one, but you connect the top and the bottom with hinges versus how I connected with my last one. I can't believe that a TikTok can give you so much insight on how to like strategize your build. My first champagne wall, which guys, I have 47,000 views on that video, so thank you so much for that. But my last wall, I created a base where it was just way too heavy, used 2x4s, and it was just way too bulky. So it made traveling with it like super irritating. So this was a really good inspiration of a build to create these doors on the back, as you see, and then opening up a little slot on the door to where we can add that extra weight. Always making sure that it's flush to the floor so that it can actually stand and not wobble. But overall, again, ooh, that TikTok saved the day. Because other than that, I just would have still had that bulky build as my last one. A big thing I like to focus on now with champagne walls is making it easy for setup. Can they do it alone or just with one other person so that it can be a quick setup and take down, which is super convenient and well worth the purchase. We got our 3, hinges to fold back, 2 pockets that we're going to stick our things in. We got our doors, and then I just added like an extra plank just because this is also going to be used to hold the weight down. So let's bring this up and see what we're talking about. This is what it's looking like so far. Make sure that the top is right, and this is the back. So, let's see. I was very happy with how the back came together, but I knew these shells were something new that I haven't done before. Usually I attach my shells with either just a nail gun or screws from the back, which you guys can kind of see in that champagne wall video I mentioned earlier. But this time I wanted these shelves to fold up and make everything as collapsible as possible, so I attached hinges on the left and right side. Doing this alone is very difficult. I had to use like those guiding kind of shells for temporary support, but overall, again, just on the left and right side, I attached the 2-hole hinges. I used my level to make sure that each shelf was straight because, again, these are going to be holding those glasses, so we do want to make sure that everything is as flush and as leveled as possible. I love how they fold, though. I have never done it this way, but I think I probably will for future walls. And then just the overall collapsing of the top half and making sure, again, that that shelf is not placed in the wrong area. I got started on the sanding. Everybody knows the sanding is very important, but it's super important when you're going to be painting like white or light pinks or honestly anything for event decor. So I made sure to take my time, and I've actually never used like sanding grits properly. So I made sure when I went to Home Depot that I got the one that's used before painting. Super important so it can be smooth. I have learned the hard way with painting champagne walls. You have to get underneath, on top, on the sides of every single shelf on the wall because pictures catch everything. So I used ultra bright white in a satin finish. I wanted it to be as easy as possible for any scuff marks or cleanups that they need to do while transporting the wall. After painting each shelf individually, I used the roller to give the first coat. Roller is super important that you also look on the label too and say, or choose which one is for smooth surfaces. So this is going to give it that sheen, that smooth outer appearance. I finish up with poly after painting on event decor, so I always recommend that. I got started on our second wall with doing the same technique, using a roller, and we got a bubblegum pink, which I like the pink that came in person versus the one we had in the draft because it really complemented the warm tones of her like logo. So finished up painting. I got 3 coats on each wall and then again finished everything with poly. So finally, at one of my favorite parts, or my actual favorite part, is customizing the wall. I asked her because after cutting it, I definitely wanted to make sure that our design still went in place. But since we were going to be putting flowers on the outer skirt of that wall, we needed something in the inside as far as like signage. So we just did a hashtag of Wins for Black Girls because that's the company name, and put that on the left side with flowers kind of contrasting that on the right. In the middle here, you'll see where I am using chicken wire. That's what gives it more of an elevated look when you're adding flowers to something. So take that trick with you. I use that a lot for different events. If you guys want that floating kind of flower look, definitely use chicken wire. I got started on the pink wall, which was going to be her main logo wall. Her logo, I can't lie, was a little difficult to print out on Cricut because of the different layers. But I went ahead, put the black first, and then added in her colors, found the vinyl that best matched the colors, and put it on in, and just saw everything come together finally. Oh, I love how it came out, especially with the flowers and her overall theme. She came over the day before and approved the design, so I was super happy about that. And look at how it looks when it's all folded down. So it really does reduce in size, which is great. You know me, I'm going to throw in some signage, acrylic signage at that, as well as pictures, frames, all this good stuff to help further celebrate her Black woman marketplace, where she encourages others to buy Black and shop with Black women and really just support us in, this entrepreneur journey. So I loved how everything came together. Look at the cups. We did some custom cups that we put on the wall. But here are the walls at the event, you guys. Of course, I have some things to tighten up a little bit, but overall, I love that she'll be able to use these at multiple of her events for her summer tour. So I hope this tutorial gave insight of how you can create your own custom backdrops, and you guys take a look at how they celebrated.
Yes, ma'am.